Okay, Chief, this week local African-American community members authored an open letter about concerns they have about coronavirus in the community. One of the things they asked for is a commitment by law enforcement to not criminalize African-Americans while adhering to COVID-19 precautions like wearing masks. As a chief, how have you dealt with this mask situation?
Yeah, so right now people aren't required to wear a mask unless a business itself requires people to wear it to enter, and then that's up to the business. So basically the business would just refuse service if somebody violated that. It wouldn't be a law enforcement issue. And like I said a minute ago, our primary enforcement situations are sideshows, things that are already sideshows are already illegal. They're already extremely dangerous to the community, and there's hundreds of people in close proximity. So we have no intention of enforcing anybody wearing a mask, because right now it's not part of the order. Now, whether that gets updated this week by the county health officer that masks are required in certain situations, we would treat that the same way we are with everything else right now, as a time to educate.
Okay, next text coming in for Chief Hahn. If we know of a non-essential business that is open, what should we do? Is that something that you want to hear about?
Well, we would get calls probably in a lot of those cases because people don't know anybody else to call. And we've seen that over the last couple weeks in different parts of the country and different parts of California where businesses are saying, I'm just going to open. So most likely those would be dealt with by code enforcement or some sort of permitting division. And they would start out with education. And at some point, potentially, they could change to enforcement. But hopefully, for the most part, our businesses will comply. And hopefully, as we move forward in these different phases, a lot of these businesses will be able to open under certain conditions.
Yeah, there's a gym which is planning on opening up in Lodi, West Sacramento, and in Land Park in Sacramento Friday at midnight. And so that obviously is not what the governor wants. And that fine is anywhere from, could be up to $1,000 and 6 months in jail. So you may be getting a call on that one that you're going to have to, but you're probably expecting things like this, right?
Yeah, I saw that in the paper the other day, and technically, according to order, the people that are working out would also be in violation of order. So potentially, if enforcement was the route that eventually was taken there, potentially they could be cited too. But again, I think a lot of it might be handled through code enforcement or through their licensing and things like that. But hopefully, for the most part, what we've seen is most of the businesses are complying from the beginning, and then for the most part, the ones that haven't or remained open, once we talked to them, they ended up closing down.
Okay.
Or complying, and whatever that meant.
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't know about that. If I went to that gym, I could also be in trouble. I guess another excuse for me to not go to the gym right now. Okay, or work out.
Well, work out in your garage.
You can
yes. Always follow us tonight at 6:30 on Instagram. We'll get you worked out with the K9 unit.
Okay, I'm there. All right, thanks, Chief.
All right, we'll be looking for you.
Yeah, I know you will. Okay, next text coming in for the Chief. What can employees do if their employer is not taking safety precautions?
Yeah, I think there's probably resources in the county that they could contact through the health department. I assume that means things like masks and things like that. So I would encourage people to wear masks and take their own precautions to keep themselves safe. Part of the problem is there's been a lot of misinformation out in the community. So they really need to go to the county's website, and there is a ton of information, not only statistics, but other information that people can obtain, and those items on the county's website are for sure factual. Sometimes what you see on social media is not necessarily true.
Yeah, that's also true. Okay, Chief, thank you very much for your time. I know you're busy. It's always good to catch up with you. Stay safe.